Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome if you're rejoining us. Welcome if this is your first time as well. Topic is about rest and why it's so hard for us to rest, especially as Black women. So if this topic resonates with you, please feel free to subscribe to my channel for future content like this. Like this video and leave a comment down below. We'd love to hear your experience about resting. If you are on a journey of relearning how to rest, right? Because we come here knowing how to rest, and somewhere along the way, things get off track, and it becomes very hard for a lot of us. I know I can speak for myself. But yeah, we're getting back to it. We're reclaiming our rest, we're reclaiming our dream space. And yeah, I have a lovely guest with me today, Kat of RebloomRoom. I will pass it over
Hello.
to her to introduce herself.
All right. Hi, I'm Kat from RebloomRoom. And I really started RebloomRoom at a time when I was super stressed out. I was going through a divorce and I was trying to figure out the next chapter of my life. And
Hi.
yeah, I really was like, what's next? And what do I even like? And not who I am, who am I, but like what do I want to do with myself? What like makes me happy? And so I chose the name Rebloom Room because I really wanted to I wanted to rebloom. So yeah, and I wanted to bring other women of color with me. So Black women and other women of color. And so it started as a blog and then it became a podcast and now it's a YouTube channel and it's just kind of, trickling out into the world. So yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
And I feel like your branding and everything around your channel, right? It's so like it's inspirational for a lot of us who struggle with resting,
Mm.
right? Because I know that's the case for me. I'm a recovering busybody, always having to
Uh-huh.
do things, like
Yeah.
have an agenda for every
Mhm.
day. And I'm like slowly like transforming my nervous system, right? To be able to rest and for
Yeah.
that to be okay. So that's
Mhm.
huge. That's huge. So thank
Yeah.
you for inspiring so many of us to rest.
Thank you. Yes. And I have started to do, like, naps on my YouTube channel, and,
Yes.
it's almost funny, but it's
Mhm.
also an actual nap, which is I feel like if you
Yeah.
can catch a nap at any time, just catch it. It's like, just catch the nap. Just catch it and take it, you know? It's yeah, it's your
Yes.
opportunity. It's not to watch me nap, because I got this comment one time, they were like, "Who would watch somebody take a nap?" I mean, there are people who would watch people taking naps, but, like,
That's
I
true.
there are. But I actually want you to lay down, close your eyes, and take a nap, and I'll, like, gently wake you up when
Mm.
it's time to wake up. Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. And I feel
Yeah.
like for those of us who may have trouble resting, like just the act of resting in community, right, is
Mhm.
huge because we can see other
Yeah.
people modeling what we're going for. So it doesn't feel
Yeah.
so isolating on this journey. You can hear other
Mhm.
people like, I struggle with this too, right? Just
Yeah.
the fundamental act of resting is a
Mhm.
human need, right?
Yeah.
But we're going to get into it like along the way, we lose that. We lose touch with that
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
a lot of the
Yeah.
ways we're socialized in the
I
society.
know.
Yeah.
I know. So many reasons. Like, the hustle culture is, it's telling us
Hmm.
that, we're not earning money, therefore, we're useless. Like, you're not
That's true.
using your time. You're not using every moment of the day to, like, earn, and if you're not doing that, then what are you doing? You know? And the
Yeah.
whole, like, just the idea that we're supposed to, like, time is money, the whole thing of time is money is so destructive to our humanity, because time is not money. I mean, you can trade some of your time for money, but that doesn't mean that all of your time has to equal money. Like, you can use some of your time to actually do nothing. It's very hard to do that. It's very, very
It
hard to do
is.
nothing. If you've grown up in a society that tells you, if you're not doing something every moment, if you're not productive, if you're not, at least yearning towards doing something or planning on doing something, or sketching it out, what are you doing next? If you're just hanging out, watching the clouds go by, just taking a nap, just chilling, then there's something wrong with you, is what we're being told. And yeah, I think a lot of us are just deciding that that's I don't believe in that anymore, or if I ever did, I don't believe in it now. And I actually want to use some of my time to do not very much. It's really hard to do
Yeah.
nothing, but I can do a lot less. I can do a lot less, and a lot of us
Um,
are, yeah, deciding if I mean, I guess they call it quiet quitting, but if they, just doing so much in one job, like the amount of email I used to get in the job that I had for like 6 years, I got so much email, and like it's just not humanly possible to consume all the information that's being pushed onto us. Like this many emails at work, however many emails at home, and then like all of the social media, everything, all of this information is coming at our into our eyeballs and into our brains, and our brains are like saturated with so much information. And I think that's like some of that kind of trickles down into our resting and sleeping time, where we're still trying to like process, our brain is still trying to process all of this stuff that came at us during the day. um and it's just too much information is coming at us. I don't think that our brains are equipped to handle this much information. So we have to demand a space for no more information, nothing coming in, just nothing doing. We have to. We have to
yes.
create that space. Otherwise, the information will
Mhm.
just keep coming at us. It's not gonna stop.
Ooh, that's such a
Yeah.
great point. Yeah, our brains were not made to process this amount of information. Like you said, especially with social media,
Yeah.
um, emails,
I
that kind of
mean,
touched on a nerve.
I know, so bad. I'm not a fan of email at all. Yeah, yeah. Like, I don't know, over 200 emails a day I was getting. I don't
Oh
know.
my gosh.
Yeah, yeah, and that was just at work. Yeah, yeah, it was too much. It was too much. Um,
That's too much. Yeah.
yeah. So
In the urgency, like the sense
so
of
much.
urgency to respond to everything immediately. It's like,
Yeah, I don't bu I
can I get
gave
a
that up a
moment?
long time ago. I gave up the urgency a long time ago. Yeah. I mean, it was impossible.
Mm,
It was truly impossible to answer 200 emails in a day, so I just was like, "Okay, these I ignore, these will come," like, I just parsed them out. And a lot of them was just like, that's 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 a you problem. I'm not doing it." I mean, what else can you do? Because email is only a fraction of what I was doing in the day. That was not even that like, it wasn't even accounted for in, like, my job description, read emails. No, you have to be actually doing
mm,
something, and the reading of the emails is just the extra thing. So, yeah, not a big fan. Yeah, there's just a lot, and it's hard for us to turn our brains off when it's time to sleep, when it's time to just lay down and take a nap and do nothing. Even if it's time to, like, have fun, like, it's hard to turn your brain off and or turn off your brain's reaction to all of that information, um, and actually, say,
yes.
"Hey, I can do nothing. I can have fun. I can relax. I can." It's really hard. It's so difficult. No wonder so many of us are burnt
It
out. We just are
is.
like, it's a lot. It's a lot that we're dealing with.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It
So,
is. And then you start to feel like, I know for me, a sense of guilt, right? When you do have fun, when you do have a moment that you take for yourself where you're not doing anything, it's like, okay, now I feel guilty. And it just
mm.
creates a cycle of shame when you
Oh,
go
yeah,
towards
no.
rest. Have you
I don't know.
like,
No, I don't know how you
mhm,
could get rid of that. I don't no guilt. No. Gosh, no, no.
mhm,
No.
mhm,
No, no, no. No.
mhm,
I like it. No, I don't no.
mhm.
No guilt, no
Can I
shame.
can I ask like how you begin to recognize like that this wasn't something you were going to feed into? this hustle culture, like urgency, everything. Like, what was that point for you?
Hmm. Let's see. When did I start? I'm not sure. I mean, I started working when I was in my like mid-20s, working
Hmm.
in New York. That's super
Hmm.
hustle, right? You gotta hustle, hustle, hustle. I started out my like working life as a freelancer, in New York. Really hard, really hard. I didn't know what I
Wow.
was doing,
Yeah.
but I was like, constantly looking for. I was in the film industry, film and advertising, so I was, like that was a hustle. I had no choice. If I wanted to like make money, I had to hustle. But then I would take the summers off because I still thought I was a student. I was like, so I would just, bye. And I was like subletting apartments. So I would take breaks and like take the summer off to, a few months. So have I ever fully bought into, I don't think I've ever fully bought into that. Like every once in a while I would try, but then I'd be like, nah. Like in
Hmm.
college, I thought I was going to be a poli sci major and a lawyer, then go into law school. And I looked around and I
Yeah.
realized I'm like, I don't really like these I don't like the vibe here. I don't like it. I don't like the vibe.
Hmm.
So that was gone. And that was done. So there are a lot of like I'm like always looking in the future. I look down the track and I see what is that leading to? And I'm like, no, no, that's not it. That's not it.
Hmm.
So I just feel like there are a lot of tracks that I've sort of kind of jumped on and then just been like, mm-mm, 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 not for me. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's amazing
I
that part of
guess.
you to be able to recognize, like, no, isn't for me, and I'm going to take a different route.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes, and so I mean,
That's amazing.
I have been working for
Mhm.
a couple decades now. So I've had like long-term jobs and some of the like a couple of the jobs ended with me being burnt out. Just because, I've had jobs where I actually like to do the work and I like my team, but at a certain point, it was like the fire hose did not stop. It just was relentless. And it was like, okay, you're going to hire an assistant for me. You're going to hire somebody else on this team. And I've been on teams where they would expand and hire more people. And that was great. So my workload was more easy to balance or whatever. But um, I don't know. I feel like it's, it's so relentless. It just I think it's just capitalism, like, things just they want us to keep growing things, like, things don't stay the same size, like, companies are supposed to
Yes.
grow, Companies are supposed to take on and acquire other companies, they're supposed to grow, and they're supposed to as opposed to just, "Hey, let's keep doing what we're doing, and let's not become Amazon," "Let's not whatever," let's, like, sustain what we're doing, and so I think it's the nature of the system that we live in to just keep acquiring, growing, and yeah, it's that relentlessness of this machine that we live in.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
The
yeah,
the
we have to
forced
what?
mm, I was gonna say, like, the forced competition, the
Mm,
urgency, like never
yes,
being satisfied with what you have. You always have to be
yeah,
seeking more all the
yeah,
time. And it
yeah,
never stops. Like you
mhm,
said, they just keep pushing you to do more and more no matter what you achieve or
yeah,
accomplish. It's like,
yeah,
okay, what's the next target?
mhm.
Can I rest with this one first?
Right, right. I know, it's very
Yeah.
strange. It's very strange, and
Hmm.
after a while, I'm just like, I'm just thinking of, like, jobs and managers, and I'm like, "You and I don't have the same goals. We don't have the same values." Like, I don't want that. I just don't want that.
Mm-mm.
So, yeah, yeah. I mean, and even when you push back, like, you push back and you're like, "Okay." Um, my thing is always, "Okay, I'm gonna do this. If you're gonna add this, what are you gonna take away?" Like, at a job, I would always say, like, here's a new project. Thank you very much. I'll take the new project. What project can I drop? What jobs can I do less of? What deadlines can I push further ahead so that we can get this new project done? So I do, I do push back in that way. But it's just like you have to keep doing it. You have to keep
Yes.
doing it. Otherwise, you just drown. And even when you do, like I pushed back and then I still got burnt out, It sucks.
Hmm.
I hate it.
Yeah, it really does. It
Yeah.
does. I'm going to read a comment from Marissa, enough by M&T. Hello. Capitalism is so exhausting. Well said. It is. It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's very
Absolutely.
draining, very draining,
Mm-hmm.
very inhuman. It's really not meant
Very.
for humans. Not really. It's
No.
not. Yeah,
No.
so yeah, you were asking me like before, like why rest is a radical act for Black women. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why it's because we're not meant to rest. We were brought to this country to produce other humans and to take care of other people and to work. That was why
Yeah.
we were brought here. And
Mm-hmm.
apparently a lot of people still think that's why we're here. So like every day you have to say that's not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm doing. That's not me. You think that's me, but it's not. That's not what I'm doing. Just constantly pushing against the expectation of Black women as workhorse, Black women as nurturer of the world, savior of the world.
Yes.
I'd rather expend my energy on myself and people that I love and people that, need my help, where I want to put my energy. Yeah, it's just an uphill struggle, which is why we're so tired. Is because constantly defending
Mm-hmm.
our sovereignty and defending our humanity against this constant onslaught of do more, work harder, be better, save this person, save that person, and all of the, volunteer work that we do at home and probably don't get a lot of credit for, and all of the committees that we join at work
Yeah.
because it's expected of us. Unpaid labor.
Yes.
Yeah, we do a lot. We do an awful lot.
Mm-hmm.
Home, church,
We
community.
do.
It's wonderful that we are so, I don't know, willing to be strong or willing to be nurturing, willing to help people who need us. And I see too many Black women who are um, catering to other people's wants and neglecting their own needs. And it's very painful to watch that. It's really painful to watch that. And I would like us to stop doing that, please. Please stop doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I would love to ask you like tips on boundaries. I do want to read a few comments from Gail Drakes. Hello. Gail says all that info coming into the system doesn't allow for any space, time for reflection on the info you received, and that might not be an accident.
No.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Thinking.
intentional.
Absolutely. Thinking, dreaming, pondering, really going back and going, do I really, what was that? Then the next thing's already coming at you. So you don't have time to process the nonsense, just more nonsense. Just, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. With like boundaries in terms of what you ingest, like the
Mhm.
things that you watch, the things that you read, the things that you, everything that comes through your eyes, into your brain, through your ears, into your brain. I think that's one of the most important boundaries, is just being really having a lot of discernment in terms of what you read, what you watch, what you listen to. Who you follow will, kind of filter a lot of that. And I see a lot of people talking about doom scrolling, and I'm like, my feed is all joyful. Like my feed is joy. That's all it is. If it's not joyful, I'm not watching it. I don't need that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't okay, I'm a Pisces. I'm an escapist. I'm an escapist. Okay. I admit it. But I don't need, I don't need to be depressed every time I open my phone. I don't need it. So if I want to be informed about something, I will go to a news like outlet and get the information that I need. And then I'll go back into whatever I want to, and whatever else I actually want in my life. Like, yeah, I think you have to be very, very, very careful about what you watch.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's it's easy to
Yeah.
go down the rabbit hole, right? Because that's how these platforms are designed,
Yeah.
off
It
of
is.
outrage, right? So it kind of
Mhm.
like infuriates us a lot of the times. I know for me, and then I'll like research it, and then and then I have to
Mm.
tell myself, no, I don't
Mm.
want to feel this way. And that's
Right.
so important where the boundary comes in. Because like
Yes.
you said, you filter what comes into your eyes, what comes into your ears. You have
Mhm.
control over that. They may
Yeah.
be feeding you all of this information, but that doesn't mean you have to accept it.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, and some people are hesitant to unfollow people or to mute people, and I don't understand that. Like, just if you don't like what they're saying, unfollow. I don't understand the hesitation. Um,
Mhm.
like, you have to do it. You have to. It's easy. Just go like this. I don't get it. It's so easy. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. What
I
else
do
do
want
we
to read a
have?
comment.
Hmm,
Yeah, from Marissa again. I can absolutely relate the guilt of taking a restful moment. Yeah,
mhm,
a lot of
mm,
us experience that. And
mhm.
that's like, oh, to hear that you don't experience that, I'm like, okay, there's a way forward where I don't have these feelings of guilt every time I
Yeah.
rest that I need to be doing something. Hmm.
No, I mean, that doesn't mean that it's easy because I don't feel guilty,
Hmm.
but I have to put it in my calendar. Otherwise, I'm just going. I'm just doing. I'm doing, 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 and I'm on a roll as opposed to take a breath, get in your hammock, lay down, you know?
Oh, I love that. Take a breath
Yeah.
and get in your hammock.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like put it in my calendar and it's a date with my hammock, and I do this one thing today for myself. Um, yeah, I don't think there's guilt. It's just that, you know, time keeps on ticking and I've got my to-do
Hmm.
list that's as long as my arm and I just keep going with it and going and going and going. And before I know it, it's like 3 p.m., you know? So I think, yeah, how do I not
Hmm.
feel guilty? I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't, yeah, guilt and shame aren't a big thing in my life. I don't think. No, I don't know. I don't know why. Just lucky, I guess. But yeah, I think maybe, having those live
Hmm.
naps, I hope that that's a way for somebody who might feel guilty about it to be like, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna just
Just read
watch
a
a
comment
YouTube video."
from.
You don't feel guilty
I
about
mean, that's
watching a
good.
you don't
That's
feel guilt,
good.
and just lay
Gail
down.
said,
I
same, I have
upset too.
multi-generational
Mm,
caregiving responsibilities, and it's hard to feel what I can.
mhm. I know. I know, yeah, it's a lot. I've
Hmm.
been there too. It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, and you can't give from an empty cup, but that's not the only goal of resting is so that you can give some more to some other people. Like, I know that the people that you're caring for, they must need you, right? They need you, um, for their survival. So that's a real thing. Um, and if it's at all possible, is there another family member who can give you a little respite from that? And even if it's an hour, I just remember when my kid was a baby, like having somebody come over and like, let me just take a shower. You know what I mean? Like, let me just take a bath. Let me just take a walk without the baby. You know what I mean? Let me get some sunshine. Just like, even if it's just for an hour, somebody come over, wash the dishes for me, or I'll wash the dishes, you watch the baby, one of the two. Like maybe if you can find somebody, anybody who could give you just a little bit of space and maybe you take a nap, maybe you take a walk, maybe you just sit on the front porch and watch the neighbors walk by, like, it doesn't have to be huge, just something, some kind of space for yourself, where you allow yourself to ask for help and ask for help more than once. Yeah, hopefully you can do that. Yeah, because people they might think you've got it all, you've got it all wrapped up. You're all good. You've got your schedule and you look organized, and people might not know that you're needing some support. Even the people closest to you might not know that if you don't state it really clearly. I need help. Can you come on Tuesday afternoon and like come between 2 and 4 on Tuesday afternoon and let me take a shower, wash my hair, and like take a walk or something like that. You know what I mean?
That's
Yeah.
huge. And I know that I can relate to that, right? As someone who other people always think that I always have it all together. I'm like, y'all, if you would see behind the scenes every day. So just being able to like ask for support is
Yeah.
something I've had to learn, and stating
Yeah.
it clearly, like you said, I need help with this at this time, and I need you to
Yeah.
be here on this day.
Yeah,
That's
specifics,
huge.
because people will be like, "Okay, I'll drop you off something that you don't need, I'm gonna drop you off some flowers." "Okay, thanks." "Great, those are pretty, but that didn't help me." "Look at the flowers, I need a nap." You know?
Yes,
Yes, be
yes.
specific, be specific.
Gail says, appreciate. I'm sorry, I feel like there's a delay on my end. Apologies for that. But Gail says, appreciate the capitalism angle, because if anyone should understand on a cellular level that these systems will take all they can, it would be Black people. Absolutely.
Very
Absolutely.
much so. Very much so. There's the expectation that we just work, 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 work. We don't take vacations. We don't take our lunch. We eat our lunch at our desk. We don't take naps. We give up our sleep. We stay up late, get up early, do all the things, volunteer for this, drive this person there. It's just all this unpaid labor in our lives. It's a lot. And you will find that when you start retracting your unpaid labor, there will be some blowback. There will be some people who get salty because you're not doing everything that you used to do. They'll get salty. They'll be like, "What you
Yep.
mean? What are you talking about? You mean I have to do something?" Yes, damn it, you do. You have to do
Yep.
something. Just doing all of the things, all of the things. That's not okay. So
It's really,
yeah,
it's
put
not.
some
And
of this
that's
down.
something to prepare for.
Mm,
That
to
reaction that people may
yes,
have. I think we talked
yes,
about this on your channel. When
yeah.
you begin withdrawing things that are draining you, but they
Mhm,
benefit other people, watch
mhm.
out for people who have a reaction to that. And if
Yeah,
you can prepare for that
yeah,
beforehand, it
yeah.
won't catch you off guard. And you
Yes,
can even kind of have like a mental script to go with,
yes.
for different reactions that you may have to their
Mhm.
reaction. It
Yeah,
doesn't mean that you don't voice a boundary,
mhm,
right? Even if their reaction is not one that you want, you can
mhm.
prepare for that ahead of time and still set that boundary because you are the important person here,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
And those are
Yeah.
their feelings. They'll react, and those are their feelings, not your feelings. You don't have to take care of their feelings. Let them have their feelings about the fact that you're not going to do all the labor. You're not gonna work until you're exhausted anymore. So you
Mm,
put some of those tasks, those burdens, those responsibilities, you drop some of those, you give them to other people, you ask for help, you ask for assistance in all areas of your life. Home, work, church, school, wherever, you
yeah.
know? "I need a tutor. I'm not gonna be on this committee anymore." "You do the damn
Mm,
dishes." All of it, you know?
yes.
Why should we have to do all of the work? Why? It's
It's
not cool.
true. It's true. And it's crucial because our health is at stake, right? This is like serious issues that we are going down the path of exhaustion. And if we don't put the brakes on ourselves, other people are going to continue to demand unpaid labor, and that's where we have self-preservation is key,
Yes.
right? No matter if someone gets upset, they'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
They can take care of their emotions. You
Mhm.
are the priority here
Yeah.
because our health is at stake, our mental health, our physical health, and we have to be well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, our physical health does suffer when we're stressed out. We don't get enough sleep, we don't get enough rest, hypertension, heart attacks, all of that. It's a road that we really don't wanna go down. And a lot of it is preventable. Um, if it's stress induced, like I I can't remember retinopathy. I had a stress induced retinopathy when I was at my old job. Um,
Mm.
and my doctor was like, "Oh yeah, you should, less screen time." I'm on the screen all day. Less screen time and, work a little bit less or a lot less. Cut it down, cut it back. And my job was like, "Oh, we don't like that. We don't like that idea." And I was like, "That's nice."
Right.
Oh, watch me take Monday and Friday off
Mm.
every week for 2 months. Just watch. Yeah.
Resist, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Mm.
no, no. Like, they would have let me just, like, lose my eyesight basically and just keep working, you know what I mean? They'd have been like, "Oh, yeah, she was supposed to take days off, but we told her not to, so she lost her eyesight in one eye. No problem." You know what I mean? Not cool.
Mm.
Not cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 And that kind of goes back to what you touched on, right? How we were brought to this country as Black
Mhm.
people. The
Mhm.
legacy of that, not viewing us as human beings with
Right.
the needs for rest,
Right.
with like our health even being considered at all, because
Mhm.
all we were brought here to do is work.
Yep.
And we have to reestablish our humanity, even if they don't see us as human. Okay,
Yeah.
that's you.
Mhm.
But I'm viewing myself as human and
Yeah.
I'm prioritizing my health and my well being, no matter if
Mhm.
anyone else does.
Yeah.
That's radical. Hmm.
Yeah. They don't have to like it. They don't have to give me permission
Yeah.
if I need the rest. I sorry, not sorry. I need it. It's like, I do. So,
I gotta
sorry, not sorry.
rest.
Yeah.
I'm human.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Not so cool. Not so cool. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we
Yes.
need and
I'm gonna read a
to
comment
help, like,
from
sort of
Lydia here.
show
Hello,
people.
Lydia. No.
Hi, Lydia. Yeah, there's a delay, but go ahead, read
Mhm.
Lydia's question.
Yes, yes. Lydia says taking care of everyone, but no one takes care of us. Currently on the verge of collapse, managing
Oh.
three chronic illnesses and trying to justify why I can't hustle and put everyone else first anymore. Lydia, I'm sending you so much love.
Oh, man. Who are
Ooh,
you justifying it
yeah,
to? Like,
yeah,
I hope that you're not trying to justify it to anybody else. They don't mm-mm, mm-mm.
yeah.
And if you're trying to justify it to yourself, that's a lot of undoing. I'm
Mhm.
so sorry that that's crazy, right? I mean, this is not an isolated story, though. It's not an isolated story. There's
It's
so
not.
many of us who are just, like, limping to the finish line every day. It's just horrible. Family, coworkers, entertainment. Oh, are you working in the entertainment industry? That thing will eat you up. That was where I was working
Mhm.
my first, work experience when I lived in New York. Yeah, yeah. That'll eat you up. Yeah,
Mm.
family, that's rough. That's really rough. Yeah.
Lydia says I'm learning that no one in my
Mm,
life values me beyond my ability to be useful to them.
mhm.
Mm.
No one in your
Mm.
life. Yeah. I mean, I get work. I get how the entertainment industry is like that. I totally get that. But if there's no one in your life who values you, That's rough. So one of the things is you sort of have to train people how to treat you. And that's where the resistance comes in, like when you start asking people to do things that you've done forever, things that you've always done for them, and starting to ask them to do those things for themselves. Just retracting and retracting that energy that you're giving out so that you reserve some of that energy for yourself, retracting it. And yeah, that's gonna there'll be resistance. People will be kind of irritated, but you know, the people in your life who are friends, family, and family of choice, like they're supposed to be there to support you and love you. Um, and if they're not, you need to retrain them. And if they can't be retrained, then you probably need to put up better boundaries between yourself and them because if they're only looking at you to support them and give without you receiving also, then what kind of relationship is that? Not great.
Mm.
Hopefully those relationships can be reformed. Hopefully those people can be retrained like puppies.
I do want to ask you about that because that's a very interesting concept, right? To retrain the
Mm,
people in our lives. Because if we
mm,
have been fulfilling this role
mhm.
for years, a lot of us may feel stuck that we have to
Yes.
keep continuing this. How
Yeah.
do you like stand up and be like, I'm actually going to change? I know that I've been doing this for years,
Yeah.
but it's not serving me. Like,
Yeah.
how do you even like begin that process of reestablishing those boundaries with people who are used to you acting a
Yeah.
certain way, filling
I mean, you can
roles?
start small. You can be like, you know, there are people in your household who are like, where are my keys? Where are my shoes? Where's my bag? Where's my notebook? Where's my backpack? Where's my this? Where's my that? That's not your job.
Mm.
Uh, No, I'm not looking for your stuff. That's not happening. You look for your stuff. Like, start there.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not my
Uh-huh.
job to find your stuff. I know where my keys are because I put my keys in the same exact place every time I enter the house. You can do the same thing, or you can just fling them anywhere you want and you look for them. You don't have to have that conversation necessarily. You can say it on your mind. Just say, you can find your own keys. End of. Like, just start there.
Ooh.
Like, just,
Mhm.
it's not your job. I mean,
Mhm.
I trained my child from very young. Don't, like,
Mhm.
create a system for yourself so you're not always asking someone else, because I'm not doing it. I love you, but I'm not doing it.
Mm.
That's your job. Keep your stuff where it belongs and you'll be good, you
Mm.
know? So
Mhm.
just and sometimes just stop doing things and people will notice, "Hey, why there no eggs in the fridge?" I think it's because you didn't buy any probably, right? Did you buy any? I mean, listen, it's a little passive aggressive. That's a passive. You could take the passive aggressive approach or you could sit down and say, "I'm going to be doing something different this week. I am not going to be going to the grocery store. Um, who volunteers to take that task this week?" You could have family meetings about how to redistribute the labor that you've been doing. You could sit your manager down and say, "Hey, I took on this new project and I feel like my plate is really full. How about we redistribute this? How about we take on a contractor to do this and that? How about, make some suggestions. Maybe you brainstorm together about how you can fix this problem." That's what managers are supposed to be there for. So make them do their job and help them help you redistribute your work. Um, just a couple ideas.
That was huge. You just gave us so many gems. And I know for me as a recovering people pleaser, right? Always trying to manage people's emotions as a result of
Mhm,
childhood trauma a lot,
mhm,
because that's what I had to do as a child. Bringing
mhm,
that into adulthood, like I'm afraid often to say, no, I'm actually going to change this role that I've been fulfilling. But how you
mhm.
laid it out, like that's goals. That's goals for me, to just be able to be like, no,
Yeah.
you can do that. I still love you, right?
Yes.
Because we often
Yeah.
think like love means like us suffering and
Right. And
sacrificing,
doing
not speaking
everything.
up for ourselves.
Mm-mm.
No,
No,
I can
no.
love you and also say I'm not doing that anymore for you.
Yeah. And you're giving them, think of it this way, you're giving them an opportunity to show you how much they love you. Like maybe your love language
Mm,
is do the dishes for me. That's my love language. Do the laundry. That's my love language. Give them the opportunity
mm,
to love you in an action, like love as verb, right? Love is a verb. So love me by doing the dishes. Love me
right.
by going to get the flippin' eggs yourself. Love you.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, give people an opportunity to do something for
Mhm,
you. Give them that's an opportunity. Think of it that way. Think of
mhm.
them, an opportunity to show their love for you. Maybe that's a more positive
Mm.
spin on it. Even if
I
they don't
love that
say it that way,
reframe.
right? You could think of it
Yeah.
internally, you can think, "This is how they're gonna show me." I'm not a big personally, I'm not a big gifts person. I'm not a big, like, I don't know, words of affirmation are fine, but, like, cut the lawn.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Oh, I do want to read a few comments here.
Mm,
Key Love says public school taught us the John Henry story in kindergarten. I knew then that I wanted to not work that hard to prove my worth. Yeah.
yeah.
I did a
Mm-mm.
video about that on my channel, John Henryism, right? The
Yes.
the fable of John Henry working himself to death trying to outdo a machine.
Machine.
And a lot of us are like conditioned that way
Mhm,
to try to
mhm.
outdo like literal machines,
I feel like we're
algorithms, try to
still
work at
doing
the
that.
same human pace. Oh yeah,
We
absolutely.
are.
Mhm.
Yeah. We're trying to read all the internet in one night. I'm not going to sleep. I got internet to read. I'm gonna beat this thing. I'm gonna read it all. I'm gonna get to the end. I swear I can do it.
Yes,
We're trying, but it's
that's real.
failing us. We are failing. It's never gonna happen. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, I
yes.
feel like that's what's happening to our brains is like our brains are like, I'm gonna beat this machine. I'm gonna get to the end. I'm gonna get to the end. There's no end. There's no
There's no
end.
end.
There's no end. There's no end.
No.
There's no end to the
Ooh.
work. The work's not gonna end. The information's not gonna end. It's gonna be there tomorrow. It's gonna be there tomorrow. The internet's gonna be there tomorrow. It's all
Wow.
gonna be there I mean, presumably. And if it's not, so what?
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
That's huge. There is no end
There's no
to any
end.
of this. That's why it's crucial that you
Mm.
have to say no more to
Yes,
protect
you.
yourself, because they
Yes,
will
you.
drive you into the ground.
It will. It's
Mhm.
never gonna stop. It's just, it's like, remember I don't know if you remember, you might be too young, but, was it I Love Lucy? And she was doing that
Yeah.
whole, there's that scene where she's like, I don't know, what are they doing? Filling donuts or doing
Oh,
something,
yeah,
and in the end, she's
mhm.
like, trying to, like, fill it. Like, it's too much too fast. It's just not gonna happen. So, set
Mm.
your own time, like, carve out a space for yourself, carve it out. Yeah. Take your
Mhm.
naps if you
Mhm.
can, like, carve it out, even if it's like you're sitting on walk away from your desk, sit out on the front porch for 10 minutes and just be. Don't do anything, just be. Or walk around the block, come back. Work's still
Yeah,
there. What? Work is still there?
it's still
What?
there.
That email that you didn't read, it's still there? What? It didn't explode, it's still there. Yeah, the urgency is
Yes.
so fake. It's so
Mhm.
phony. Like,
Mm.
if you don't work in Mount Sinai emergency room, is it an emergency? Like, if that's not your workplace, you know,
Mhm.
is it an emergency? I
That's
mean, there are people who work, in actual emergency rooms. That's an emergency.
Mhm.
But many of us do not. Many of
We
us
don't.
could slow it way down. Way down.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I do want to read a comment from 60 Solo Mystic Traveler. Hello, hello, lovely to see you. She says, in the healing of the nervous system, I have been guided to more and more rest. Definitely had to confront all the conditioning that told me rest had to be earned. Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
thank you for sharing that. Because a lot of this is our nervous system is so used to being overworked, right?
Yeah.
Overstimulated. So
Mm-hmm.
we fall right back into that pattern.
So easy.
And that's why it's
So
so
easy.
important. Yeah, you have the power to rewire your brain,
Mm.
right? Neuroplasticity is real. As long as you're living, you can create new neural pathways that tell you, oh, when I'm feeling this way, I'm not going to go down this road anymore and I'm going to take a different road.
Mm.
That's where like the power comes in, right? The
Yeah.
power to set those boundaries for yourself to
Mm-hmm.
preserve you because
Yeah.
you have to be well. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Stacy
It's just
says, mhm.
yes, yes, yes. Go ahead and read it.
Exhaustion should not be the norm. Let's rewrite our own stories and learn to rest daily. It's our
Yeah.
birthright. Yes, our health is at stake. It
Yeah.
is.
Yes, that's
It
perfect.
is.
Thank you for
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Yeah. I just the whole idea that there are women who have never put themselves first, who are putting their health at risk for other people's desires, wants, possible needs. It's so painful. It's so painful to me. It's horrible. It's an epidemic, and I think we need it to stop. We need to stop it. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. And like realizing that we have the power to stop that too, right? We're the only ones that can say, no, I'm not doing that anymore.
I know.
Right. And for a lot of us, that requires like healing to even get to that point. If we have been in environments where we've spoken up before, we've been reprimanded, we've
Mhm.
had all these things thrown at us,
Mm.
being told we're difficult. So
Mm.
then we learn to silence ourselves
Mhm.
and not advocate for ourselves. So even getting to that point where you
Yes.
can be like, no, I'm not doing that. Sometimes that takes time,
It does, yeah.
right? To get to that point.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes, definitely, you are difficult. I've definitely heard that thrown around. Being a difficult person. You're difficult. You're not easy.
Hmm.
The easy way would kill me, though, so maybe it's better that I'm a difficult person. If the easy way, going along with the program, if that program is gonna kill me, then it's better that I'm a difficult person. Difficult people, maybe they survive. Maybe they thrive. A difficult person in a crap situation. I don't know.
Ooh, ooh, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Glamazine. Hey, Glamazine. She says, learning to say no and learning to receive a no.
Mhm.
Both
Yeah, okay, receiving
powerful.
now.
Because
Mhm,
sometimes you have people in your life, right? And sometimes that person is us. Uh-huh.
mhm.
That we are
Yeah.
uncomfortable receiving a no from
Mhm,
someone else. And that also
mhm.
requires nervous system regulation, right?
Mm,
Because I don't know, someone telling you no may set you off on, you may be triggered by that, but that's for
mhm.
you to work on
Yes. Now
so that you
Glamazzini
can receive that. Hmm.
Glamazzini said something interesting. I was watching, a short of hers that where she said that, um what did she say? You're gonna have to remind me. I'm gonna misquote you, but you said something like, we're tired because we don't feel safe because we're in an unsafe situation, something like that. We feel we're not able to sleep or we're not able to rest because we're in an abusive relationship or we're in a toxic job or we're in an unsafe environment. And so we actually, our body is telling us that it's not safe to rest because it isn't safe to rest, and so we need to get out of that situation. So that's also very real. Like there are those of us who are in situations where it's not really safe and we can't, our nervous system is like "Zzz, zzz, 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 get out." So of course we
Yeah,
can't rest, right? That's real.
yeah, that
That's
is.
real, real.
Hmm.
So in that
Yeah.
case, the priority would, I mean, if you can't really rest because you're not safe because you're in an unsafe situation, then the priority would be to get yourself out of that situation. That's tough.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
that's what you and Dr. Kamani are doing, and a lot of us are like exiting these situations and exiting these environments that are not healthy, that are not safe, that are not good for our nervous system. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Absolutely. Yep. We do have, thank you for leading me into this, but we do have the Job Liberation Virtual Summit coming up May 18th and 19th. You can still register at jobliberation.haysummit.com. But you're absolutely right. Like being a toxic job survivor,
Mm.
being in an environment that was literally robbing me of my ability to rest, eat, sometimes intake
Mm.
water. Like this is a level I was being harmed day after day and feeling like I could not leave, right? But
Mm.
I had to plan my exit,
Yes.
get out of that environment to be able to regain that capability to rest because
Yes.
I was so uneasy inside from what I was seeing, what I was being tasked with doing that was against
Mhm.
my moral compass.
Yes.
And it's like if you're in that environment, it's going to be really hard for you to breathe, to
Yes.
rest, to relax because your
Mhm.
nervous system is like, girl, you need to get out of this environment.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. What was making you feel like you couldn't leave? Like what was the stuckness? Because I feel like we can sort of logic our way out of escaping a job. You know, we know, oh, well, there's the salary, there's this, there's the that, and we can kind of pro and con list our way to staying in a place that's not good for us. Um, what was your stuckness about? Because that's usually what mine is. It's like, pro con and whatever. It's just
Mhm.
yeah. What was
I
your
think for Yeah, I think for me it was the money fears.
Mhm.
Um, as a first generation college student, like coming out of college or graduate school into a job that paid so well, I'm like, okay, this has to be my dream job because it pays so well and I have to stay in it, even if it's harming me,
Mhm.
because what will I get that's better than this? Right.
Mm,
So,
mhm,
like,
mhm, mhm,
kind of an issue of a deeper self worth issue, but that
mhm,
I'm healing from.
mhm.
Also, yeah, that money
Yeah.
fears, the mission. So I was so
Mhm,
committed to the mission of what I was working on,
mhm,
right? Closing the racial wealth gap. This was
mhm.
my mission in graduate school, what I had studied, researched. I had spent so much time, and I think it's called the sunk cost fallacy. We
Yeah.
feel like if we put so much time, energy, investment when it comes to stuff like education into something that we can't
Mhm,
pivot away from it,
mhm,
that's what I was experiencing too. So I'm like, I just have to like work even harder, study even more, and like I will get this job. Like I'll finally have it, and people will stop harming me, undermining me. And you have
mm,
to come to that point of radical acceptance, being like, this will never change.
mhm.
And in fact, like they'll run me to the ground and not have a second thought about it. Like you said, these jobs do not view us as human often. They
No,
don't. They don't care about us.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the stuckness is the worst. For me, feeling stuck is the absolute worst feeling. I
Yeah.
hate it. I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think I
Hmm.
hate the fact that, like, it has to like, I can get to a point where I'm like, I have no choice but to quit, as opposed to, it's so crappy that I have no choice but to quit, as opposed to, like, getting to this level and being like, "Uh-oh, the water's rising again.
Yes.
Here it comes. Ooh, ooh, ooh," and, like, sh so I think I'm getting better at that. I think I'm getting better at, like, recognizing the signs of the doors, looking for the exits
Hmm.
faster
Yeah.
than I have in the past. I don't know.
Can I
Yeah.
ask you, like, what has that journey been like to reminding yourself that you're not stuck in environments that you may feel that way at first,
Mm.
but it's like almost bringing your awareness back to the fact that no, I'm not a tree, right?
Yeah.
I can move myself to a different place, to a different environment.
Mhm.
What has that process been like for you, unlearning that feeling of being stuck?
I guess just I just practice. I think just practice leaving places. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I just practice.
I love that.
I do have a tendency to stay places way too long, just generally speaking. Um, but
Mhm.
I guess just practicing, okay, practicing leaving, like practicing, practicing. It's practice. And
Mhm.
practicing, like, just practicing telling people that, "Hey, I think I'm done with this."
Yeah.
It's like, let me think, have I done that in my personal life? Yeah, like, just leaving, like, telling people, "This is not working for me, like, I'm leaving now." Like, just practicing leaving things, places, just even on a small thing, like, "Oh, I don't like this restaurant, I'm gonna go." I don't like the look of this place, I'm gonna go. Like, just, like, practicing. Practicing not putting up with things. "Oh, could I have a better table at this somebody sets you at a table, "Can I have a better one?" Like, just practicing, like, getting things that you like, not being mean about it, not being obnoxious, or just, like, saying, "Hey, can I have a better table?" Or, "Hey, I'd rather do this than that." Or, just practicing that muscle of, like, "I would rather have this than that. I would like to do this, not that." Making, like, small choices, I guess, like just practicing and, like, flexing that muscle of getting more of what you want on a daily basis, like, "I prefer this. I prefer that. I prefer this." And I had to practice that, like, when I was divorcing, I was, like, so, like, had been in this relationship and raising a small child and all of that just kind of, like, sucked the me-ness out of me, and, like, "Who am I?" And so I had to just practice, like, what do I like? Do I like this or do I like that? I don't remember. Let me try them both. Oh, wait, I like this. Like just practicing just little baby steps, practicing every day. Like, what do I like? How can I get it? If I don't like it, don't keep doing something that I don't like doing. Like small steps every day. Like if I don't like it, I'm out. That's how I got
Mm. Yes.
that curated social media feed because I don't like this person. I don't like that.
Mm.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like this movie. I'm
That's
walking out. Like, just practicing.
and that seems doable,
Yeah, okay, good.
right? That seems doable. Cause yeah, for a lot of us who like, I think that was one of my questions. Like, how do we start to rest if we feel like we don't have time? I feel
Mm,
like that advice, little by little, right?
yeah,
Carving out those pockets.
yeah, little.
If you have trouble advocating for yourself to even be able to rest,
Mm,
small steps over time,
yeah,
right? Checking in with yourself. Is this really okay with me?
right.
And I think a lot of that can be like body awareness too,
Yeah,
right?
so
I'm saying
important.
yes to this thing, but something in my body is telling me no.
Mhm, mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Body awareness is so important because I think a lot of times I know for one, I'm in my head so much, and just to remember, "Oh, wait, like, when was the last time I really breathed like, I took a deep breath?" I'm like, shallow breathing all day. Take a breath. Is it that important? Is what I'm, like, excited about here in the screen, is it really that is it urgent? No, take a breath. Oh, no, it's not. And there is this practice, um, of the breath, what's her name? Tracy I can't remember her last name, Tracy Stanley. She, taught me this practice of breathing where you breathe in and, like, the space at the top of the breath and at the bottom of the breath, both of those are your opportunity to rest. Just that. Like, that's a rest. That's rest. That's rest. That's rest. At the top and the bottom, those are both actually spaces for rest. Loving it. So you get little rest, and if you
That's
can
life
be
changing.
right, if you can be aware of those mini moments of rest, you can expand it. Just start there with the breath. Ah, I'm resting right here. I'm resting at the bottom. Yeah, so you can start even if you just start with your breath. Be aware of your breath, your body, And here's my rest right now. I'm taking it right now. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that tip.
Yeah.
And our bodies like already have that ability built
Mhm.
in just
Yes.
with breath, like you
Yes.
said.
Yes. And so much
Those
I know
moments.
yes, and
Mhm.
so much I'm forgetting to breathe deeply. I'm forgetting all about it happens. Breathing happens as, we are not paying attention. So much of these bodily functions are happening, we're not paying attention. And when we can pay attention, then maybe we can get that the body awareness brings us back to the rest awareness and the need for the rest, the awareness of our need for rest, the awareness of our eyes being tired. What if I close my eyes for 3 seconds? Breathe and open them again. Okay, I just got 3 seconds of rest. That's better than nothing, right? Close
Mhm.
my eyes. Maybe close it for 10 seconds. Notice my breath. Oh, wow. 10 seconds of rest. That was delicious. Let me try some more. Right? You just like steal little pieces of rest, you know? And pretty
Mhm.
soon maybe you're joining me for a nap.
Oh, I love that. Steal pieces
Yeah.
of rest. And y'all, please
Yeah.
subscribe to Cat's
Yeah.
channel. I'll link it
Mm.
here in the chat.
Mm.
But I do want to ask you, like, when those moments when we are going so fast, it's like we're not really connected to our bodies. What are some signs that may pop up that we need to rest? That it's like now, right? Or when you have
Yeah.
a moment,
Mm.
carve out this time for yourself.
I mean, eyes tired, shoulders tired, neck tired, butt falling asleep, shoulders stiff,
Mm.
brain foggy, can't keep a thought in my head, um, irritable, short-tempered. Um,
Yes.
yes. Sometimes it's just thirsty. You might just need water. That's a thing.
Mm.
But
Hmm.
sometimes you ought to just do something else with your body rather than if you're working at a desk, sitting at a desk, or doing whatever work you're doing, whatever it is. Maybe you just need to do something, challenge yourself to do something different with your body, you know, every hour, every hour, whether it's just to take a stretch, take a walk, lay down, stand up,
Mm.
do something different with your body every
Yeah.
hour.
And going on.
And see what feels good. See what your body's
Hmm.
asking for. I think if you're more aware of what your body's asking for, then you'll know. You'll know. Where I think a lot of us are encouraged to ignore what our
Hmm.
body wants, ignoring those signals that our body's giving us. Like we know when we're hungry, right? We know when we're hungry. I don't always know when I'm thirsty. I never know. I'm always thirsty, but I always ignore that, and it's very bad. It's very bad. But, like, it becomes easy to ignore your body, you know? But I think when you become more aware, then you can are you laughing at my water joke? My water I'm gonna drink. Okay, hold up.
And these, what I love is these are such simple tips,
Yeah.
right? That a lot of us wouldn't even realize. As simple as breathing, recognizing like the natural state of your body. When your eyes start to get tired, like you said, when stuff starts falling asleep,
Oh, yeah.
moving, right?
Mhm.
Inviting gentle movement in.
Yes.
And that's why it's so important to reconnect with our bodies. Because
Mhm.
a lot of us, we have been socialized and told in the society that we're machines, that we just have to push forward,
Yes.
ignore all these signs that our bodies are giving us.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that leads us down a path of like hurt. Like
So
this is
much
harming us.
so much harm. So
So
much
those
harm.
moments where we can,
Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah, I
yeah,
I
in
I
those moments when we can bring our awareness back to what we're feeling. Hmm.
Yeah, no, I was in a meeting with a group of Black women, and one woman said that she thought of herself as a workhorse, and I'm just like, "Baby, no, no,
Mm.
no, no, no." Like, that's self-harm. That's self-harm. I don't know how
It
to unpack
is.
that. I don't know how
It
to
is.
unpack it.
Because it's a message we receive right from the outside society telling us that we're workhorses, telling us that we're not human, that we need to just push past, we don't need breaks, we don't need medical care. That's a whole other
Mm.
topic.
Mhm,
Medical care in
mhm.
the US. We don't need any of these things when really we do, but
Yes.
we've internalized these messages about ourselves, and so we begin treating ourselves
Mhm.
like people who are telling us these messages,
Yes.
right? And
Yeah.
that's the point where you like can really take your power back.
Mhm.
These systems may be trying to dehumanize me at every turn. They don't care about me. They don't care if I live or die. They just want to see me work. They just want my
Mhm.
labor. But I
Yes.
don't have to treat myself like that. I
Right.
don't have to be complicit in them oppressing me.
Yes.
Mm-mm. I can
Yeah.
establish that for myself,
Mhm.
establish boundaries around my time, my rest, my care, and advocate for myself, no matter what those messages are out there. I don't have to internalize them.
Yes.
Mhm.
And it's messages. And I think, just remembering this woman who said that, I think it was a lot of people in her family who were saying that, and they were workhorses. They were also Black women who were also working and working and working and working. And so that was the path. You get onto that path, and the people around you, they're doing it, so they expect you to do it. And that also becomes really challenging because then you're stepping out of the family system and you're saying, I'm going to do something different. And you're getting pushback from people who love you saying, well, wait a minute. How can how can you not push yourself? This is what we do. This is how it's done. This is, you know, they become sort of afraid for you because you're going to fail. You're not gonna be this whatever, I don't know, you're not gonna have all this success that they think that you're gonna get by overworking yourself. So there's that there it is very hard to push back on people who believe in the workhorse mentality or believe in, the hustle mentality. It's hard to push back when there are people who love you and they think that they want their system is good for you, and you're saying, "No, it's not. I don't want that." It's hard. It's hard.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very hard. Yeah. And unfortunately, like the people around us may like come at us with the lazy term, right? If
Hmm.
we're doing
Mhm.
something different from
Mhm.
what they're used to seeing,
Yeah.
maybe something that they need for themselves. And it
Yeah.
kind of triggers that. Like, I wish I could do that. You can,
Exactly.
but they may not be at that point yet. So seeing
Exactly.
you do that and
Yeah.
prioritizing your rest could
Mhm.
invite that criticism, that word lazy right in,
Mhm.
and
I
make you question your path.
I
Uh-huh.
didn't get that. I got from my sister. I'm gonna call her out. My sister, when I was in graduate school, she said I said she said, "What are you doing this morning?" I said, "Oh, I think I'm gonna go for a swim and then go for breakfast, and then I'll start, do some reading or whatever, some work." And she's like, "Oh, you and your bohemian lifestyle." I was like, "You wish you had it." And so now I'm teasing her. Now she's retired, and I'm, like, teasing her about her bohemian lifestyle. I'm like, "Oh, you're just lazing about, are you? Your bohemian lifestyle." Yeah. I mean, that I mean, that was easy to she just wanted to lay around too because she was working at that time. She had 2 kids in the house. So, yeah, she was like, "Must be nice," kind of feeling. But, listen,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna live your life. You live your life. I love the bohemian lifestyle too. I like swimming in the morning.
Yes.
I like having a nice leisurely breakfast. Who doesn't?
Mhm.
Yummy.
Yeah.
We should all have it.
We should, and that's important because often a lot of us are the first ones to kind of do this in our family systems and the
Mm,
people around us. So we're modeling to them that a different way exists, that you
mm,
don't have to regard yourself as a machine. That's
yeah,
not the only way. That you can
mhm,
prioritize yourself, your rest, you can build boundaries, and the
mhm.
world will not crumble. People will
Yeah.
adapt. Once you
Yes.
set those boundaries,
Yeah,
um, and tell yourself that you are a priority, just like everyone else that you care for,
yeah.
people will have no choice but to adapt. And so
Yes.
we're setting that example for other people around us who are
Mhm.
watching us.
Yes, setting the
Mhm.
example, like the puppy training, like, "Here's what I'm not gonna do. Here's what you gonna do."
Yeah.
You know? It's the puppy training. And yeah, like yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of us have trained our family members to understand that you won't know where I am next year. You won't know where I am next month. You won't know, I might be here, I might be there, I might, and they're like, "There she goes again." After a while, they'll be like, "There she goes. Well, there she goes again traveling somewhere else. Oh, well." Like, they get used to it. They I think people like patterns. People like patterns, and so, like, set a new pattern. And once they see that you're really doing this thing, they're like, "Oh, that's the new pattern. Okay. She's traveling everywhere. Okay. Oh, she's not picking up after me. Oh, okay." You know? "Wow, we asked her to volunteer on this committee 10 times, and she said no 10 times. I guess she's not gonna
Mm.
volunteer on this committee." That's the pattern, you
Yes.
know?
Yeah.
Yes. Like you're training like, it's like your brain and the neural pathways. It's also with other people. You have to train them by being consistent in your nose or being consistent
Mhm.
in your new behavior and your new pattern. Because 'Cause they'll test you. People will test you. They'll be like, "Maybe I'll just, ask her again. Maybe let me try this
Mhm.
again." I wanna do that. Make her do it. Or they'll do it badly. You know that trick, the trick of, like, putting dirty dishes in the dishwasher and, like,
Weaponize
not
weaponize
yeah.
incompetence. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good trick. It's the oldest trick in the book. I know. "I have no idea how to do this." The most competent person in the world. "I don't know how to mop a floor. It's too complicated. Ah, no, look at the mop. It's too heavy. Child, please. Mop
Uh-huh.
that floor." Yeah.
Yep. That's so real. Yeah.
Training people how to treat
Training
you,
people.
training people to understand you, and with that extra
Mhm.
time, there will be a vacuum, and more things will try and step in. So once you stop doing stuff, a vacuum will appear, and you fill it with rest. Fill it with rest. Fill it with your fun and
Ooh,
leisure
that's
activities.
key.
Yes, because
Mhm.
something wants to enter. "Oh, join this committee. Oh, bake this 100 cupcakes for your kids' bake sale." "No, no, I'm resting." You don't have to tell people what you're doing. You just
Mm.
be like, "I have an appointment." The appointment is with Cat. I have an appointment with Cat to take a nap at noon. Nobody needs to know that. You just say, "I have an appointment. I have an
Yeah.
appointment that time." Right?
That is
That's
so
it. That's why you
real.
have to put
Yep.
it in your calendar, because then you're not lying. "I have an appointment. I'm
Mhm.
sorry." "Mm. Oh, yeah, from 12 to 4? No, no, I'm sorry. I'll be busy at that time."
Oh,
Watercolors.
man.
Doing my
And that's
watercolor.
huge.
Yeah.
That's huge because
Mhm.
when we do start to establish these things, like you said, that vacuum that
Yes.
appears, and a
Yeah.
lot of us will wanna seek something else out to fill that so that we feel normal. And normal if
Mm.
normal to us has been overworked,
Yes.
overstimulated, we'll try to
Mhm.
put something else in that space that we just carved out.
Yes.
And all of
Yeah.
a sudden, we're back to square one.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes. I see that a lot.
That's huge.
Yes. Yeah, my sister retired and now she has a part-time job. I'm like, "Girl,
Yeah.
come on." Oh, well.
Yes. But I did want to
Yeah.
be cognizant of your time.
Mhm.
And I do want to talk a little bit before we leave about your nap sessions, because I think that is
Yeah.
so, so amazing.
Yeah.
Please subscribe to Cat's channel, Rebloom Room on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you just talk about your rest sessions and
Yeah.
also the distance Reiki sessions that you're offering.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm sort of creating my own napping practice, slowly adding naps into my weeks. Some of my naps I will do on YouTube. I haven't really set a schedule for it because I like to keep it fluid, but if you're subscribed, and you hit the notifications, you'll know when I'm about to take a nap. Like, I usually set it up a couple days before, and you'll be able to put it into your calendar and tell everyone that you're busy at that time, and you can come take a nap with me. It's very simple. I just, introduce, and sometimes I'll take Trisha Hersey's, rest deck, and I'll read a card from her rest
Mhm.
deck to sort of inspire the nap. And then we will close our eyes and lay down and take a nap. And then after 20 or 30 minutes, like I'll have a gong or like a bell that goes off gently. And then we wake up, and that's the nap. Very simple, not complicated, not a lot of talking. We get into it. We take a nap. And so, and then if you want to keep napping, or if you want to like journal afterwards or something, you can go for that. But yeah, just I like to have it a session like that every so often so that people have an opportunity to practice, in a group, and it's an official time. Like, it's really you put it in your
Yeah.
calendar so that you can say, "I'm busy." No. And then
Mm.
I've been practicing Reiki for, like 6 years. I looked in my I think it was like 6 years or 7 years I've been practicing Reiki, just, on myself, on my family, friends, on my animals,
Mhm.
on my everything, my plants, like, I Reiki everything. Um, and so I don't know if you know what Reiki is. Reiki is, came from Japan. It's a healing technique where, you can use Reiki in person, and you can either put your hands sort of I like to put my hands sort of hovering over a person, and like, there's no touch, and you're completely clothed, and you're either laying down or sitting, and it's sort of this energy will come through me, and then through my hands, the energy will come into your body and into your energy field. So it's used for anxiety relief, pain relief, um, and sort of increasing the health of your overall body. So yeah, and it also helps. I first got my first Reiki session again when I was going through divorce, super stressed out, and I just felt this sort of so relaxed, and I felt the energy of this like stuckness being moved through out of my body and out of my energy field, and I just felt like so much lighter. And so that's how I started doing Reiki, is that I was like, wow, this is really helpful and powerful. I really want to learn how to do that. So I've been doing Reiki for about 6 years, 7 years, and I just started offering distance Reiki sessions. I had a Reiki attunement about a month ago, and my Reiki master was like, you can offer you can offer Reiki sessions online. I was like, oh yeah, let me do that. So I'm starting to do that. And
Mhm.
yes, if you wanted to get a Reiki session with me, I think there's a link. There'll be a link in the description, and also on
Yes.
my IG. There's a link in my link in bio. Yeah,
Hey. Well, thank you so much.
yeah.
So read this last comment from Leslie Moore. Dude, that sounds freaking amazing. I was just looking at the channel. I need some nap time.
Oh,
Right?
good. Yay.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, you can watch the previous snaps, or you can do a live one. Like, I always keep them up. So if you just want to put that in your calendar and push one of them, put it in your calendar and nap. If I'm not doing a live one, you can also do that.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah. So for those of us who are like new to the concept of napping,
Mhm.
resting, being able
Mhm.
to, like you said, put it on your calendar,
Yes.
go on Cat's channel, watch a
Mhm.
nap session, and then you can
Do a
nap in
nap session.
community. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I
I
was
love
new
it.
to napping. I was new to napping because I always thought, "Oh, I can't." My mind, going on, going. But I really need it. I really need it, especially
Yeah.
when I was working full time and I was so tired all the time. So, yeah, I just started it, and I really like with Trisha Hersey, she's really, she has really inspired me. Yeah, and Tracy Stanley too. There's some folks who are really helping people to rest, just very practical. Do Just get some rest in your day. Yeah. Not make a big thing of it. Just lay down.
Just lay down. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be complicated.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just lay
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. With that, I want to thank y'all so much for everything that you put in the chat. Um, Lydia says this was a much needed convo. This
Mm.
community keeps me encouraged. Thank you, Lydia, for
Thank you,
everything you shared.
Lydia. I hope you get some
Yes.
space. Hope you get some support, like
Yes.
practical support, and I hope you get
Mhm.
some space for some me time.
Yeah.
Me time, because it sounds like you really
Yes.
could use it.
Yeah. You deserve. You deserve.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes, and
yeah.
dessert.
Thank you. Kat. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Kat, for being
Thank
here,
you,
sharing all
everyone.
these tips, these practical tips for those of us,
Yeah.
again, who are new to this concept, who have trouble resting. It feels
Mm.
impossible. Kat
Mm.
just gave us so many tips, right? You can start with breathing and taking your rest right there. And as you do that, you begin to reconnect with your body. And little by little, little steps every
Yes.
day over time will lead to that change where rest won't feel so foreign, and you'll be able to really like center yourself, take time for yourself. And that may also require setting boundaries with the people in your lives, which Kat has
Mhm.
also given us so many tips on how to
Yeah.
do. So I thank
Yes.
you for being here, for sharing
Thank
everything that you
you.
shared.
Thank
Absolutely,
you.
absolutely. And yeah, until next time, y'all. Thank you. Thank you for
Bye,
watching.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.